Yesterday, I was watching one video where a person interviewed people who had terminal cancer, people who were literally on their deathbed, and she wanted to find out one thing: what actually matters at the end of it all? And the answer was the same, almost every single time. They didn't talk about money, they didn't talk about other people's opinions, they didn't even talk about all the stuff they built. They said one line: I wish I had lived the life I was supposed to live. That was the single biggest regret. Not what they did, what they never got around to doing. Now, I wanted to pause for a second because the exact same thing is happening to marketing agencies, B2B businesses, and SaaS founders every single month. You build the automations, you set up a new CRM, you buy another tool, you watch one more YouTube video about AI workflows, you stack one system on top of another. But at the end of the month, when you actually open your calendar, only one question matters: how many real sales calls do I have this month with the right people? Because nobody at the end of a quiet quarter says, I wish I had a prettier Notion dashboard. They say, I wish I had more clients on calls. 5 to 6 highly targeted intro calls a month with people who can actually afford you and genuinely need what you sell. That is the whole game. So today I'm going to show you something that has been working surprisingly well. For the last few months, I've been testing Claude SKILLS through one simple filter. Does this actually put more qualified sales calls on my calendar? Not is this cool, not does this look smart on Twitter, just does this bring in real conversations with real buyers? And out of everything I tested, only 7 use cases actually moved the needle. The rest was just noise dressed up with a fancy name. So this is exactly what we are covering today: 7 Claude SKILLS use cases that bring in consistent, highly targeted sales calls for marketing agencies and B2B businesses. No fluff, no theory, just the things that actually work. I will split them into 3 simple buckets: the targeting skills, the outreach skills, and the closing skills. Each one solves a very specific step on the path from stranger to booked call. Before we jump in, one quick thing: if you are a marketing agency, a B2B business, or a SaaS founder, and you want a system that brings in 5 to 6 highly targeted intro calls every single month, the link to book a free strategy call with me is right down in the description. We'll look at exactly where your funnel is leaking, what to fix fast, and which of these skills to plug in for your situation. No pitch, no pressure, just a real conversation. Cool, let's get into it. The targeting skills. Use case number 1, the ICB sniper skill. So most agencies already have an ICB document somewhere. It usually says something like marketing agencies between 1 and 5 million in revenue who care about growth. That is not an ICB. That is a guess in a Google Doc. The ICB sniper skill fixes this. You feed it your last 10 to 20 best clients, the ones you wish you had 50 more of. Revenue, industry, team size, what they were struggling with when they hired you, what they got out of it, and how long they stayed. Then Claude builds you a real ICB, not the surface stuff, the patterns underneath. Like every client who paid more than 5k a month had already tried 2 agencies before us. Or every long retainer client already had one in-house marketer. That is the kind of insight you can't get from a template. The pro tip is, pair this with the learnings.md pattern. Every time you close a new client or lose one, drop the note in. After 3 months, your ICB skill understands your business better than your own memory does. Use case 2, the prospect deep dive skill. Here's the situation most people are in. You find a lead, you open their website, you scroll their LinkedIn, you check their funding, you take notes. That is 20 minutes per prospect, minimum. Reach out to 50 a week, and that is basically a full workday on research alone. The prospect deep dive skill compresses that into about 60 seconds. You give it a name and a company. It pulls together their role, recent posts, what the company has been doing lately, what roles they are hiring for, what tech they use, and one specific pain point you can lead with. And here's the part that actually matters: it doesn't dump a generic summary on you. It gives you one line you can use to open the conversation. Something like, notice you are hiring a content lead and just rebrand your service page. Looks like you are moving from project work into a retainer model. That kind of opener gets replies because it shows you actually looked. Pair this with prompt master if you want the opener to sound like you wrote it yourself, not like an intern did it. Category 2, the outreach skills. Use case number 3, the personal trust outreach skill. Most cold email ad skill stopped working because everyone is using the same spin text variables. Hey, first name, I saw company, is in industry. Every founder has seen that exact email 1,000 times. It goes straight to the archive folder. The personal touch outreach skill solves this. It takes the output from your prospect deep dive and writes the message around one real observation, not a fake compliment. So instead of loved your post about content marketing, you get something like, notice you stopped publishing case studies in March and switched to thought leadership post. What's behind the shift? That is a question only someone who actually looked at their account would ask, and it gets replies. Keep the rest of the email short. One observation, one question, one subtask. Done. Reply rates on this format have run close to 4 times higher than the templated version in every agency I have tested it with. The pro tip is add a humanizer skill as the final step. The email then reads like a real person typed it out at their decks in 3 minutes, not like an AI assembled it. Use case 4, the LinkedIn relationship skill. Cold outreach feels cold because it is cold. The LinkedIn relationship skill warms the prospect before you ever pitch them anything. Here's how it works. You give it a list of 30 to 50 prospects. It tracks what they post about, what themes they care about, and what they react to. Then every single day it hands you 5 to 7 specific comments to leave on their post. Not great post, real comments that add a point of view. After 2 to 3 weeks of this, your name is familiar to them. They have seen it on their notifications. They have probably checked your profile. So when your outreach message finally lands in their inbox, it isn't from a stranger anymore. It's from that person who keeps leaving smart comments on my post. Your reply rate goes up without you sending more messages. That is the entire trick. The pro tip here is add a learnings.md to this skill too. It will remember which prospect responded best to which comment style. Over time, it gets sharper at picking the right tone for each person on your list. Category 3, the qualifying and closing skills. Use case number 5, the inbound filter skill. Here's a problem nobody talks about openly. You finally start getting inbound leads, great, but half of them are tire kickers, students doing research, or businesses that are simply not a fit yet. You hop on the call anyway, you spend 30 minutes, 5 minutes in you already know this isn't going anywhere. Now do that 10 times in a week and your calendar is full of calls that go nowhere. The inbound filter skill takes the form responses, the email exchange, or whatever info you have about the lead before the call. It scores them against your ICP. It flags the red flags clearly. It tells you high fit lead, prep deeply, or low fit lead, send a Loom video instead of taking a live call. Suddenly, your calendar has 6 great calls instead of 12 average ones. Same effort, way better close rate, half the time spent. Use case 6, the pre-call genius skill. The single biggest reason agencies lose deals on sales calls is showing up generic. Same discovery script, same 5 questions, the prospect figures out inside 3 minutes that this is a sales call, not a conversation, and then the energy drops. The pre-call genius skill changes that completely. Before every single call, you run this. It pulls every note you already have on the prospect, every email, every LinkedIn touch, every observation, plus a fresh resource pass on the company. Then it hands you a clean one-page brief. The 3 things this person actually cares about. The 2 objections they are most likely to raise. The 1 story from your past clients that matches their situation best. The specific number to anchor your pricing against. You walk into the call sounding like you have known their business for months. Closures on properly prepped calls run almost double the rate of regular calls in every test I've seen. Use case 7, the compounding follow-up skill. The deals you lose are rarely the ones that said no. They are the ones they went quiet. I'll think about it. Let me check with my partner. Can we revisit in Q3? And then silence. The compounding follow-up skill catches every one of those. You drop your call notes into it. It builds a follow-up sequence based on what the prospect actually said on the call, not generic check-ins. Specific ones tied to the exact objections and timelines from the actual conversation. So if they said, I want to see how Q3 goes first, the follow-up message in 60 days opens with, hey, you mentioned waiting to see how Q3 numbers landed. How did they land? That kind of memory is what gets the reply months later. And the learnings.md file on this skill is honestly the most valuable one. Every time a follow-up works, a deal backup, log what worked. Every time one falls flat, log what didn't. After 6 months, this skill is basically your second brain for revenue. So that is your 7 Claude SKILLS use cases that actually move the needle for marketing agencies, B2B businesses, and SaaS founders. The targeting skills, make sure you go after the right people. The outreach skills, make sure you stand out when you reach them. The closing skills, make sure the calls you take actually turn into clients. And here's the one thing I want you to walk away with. None of these skills matter if you don't pick one and run it this week. Don't try all 7 on day 1. Pick the one bottleneck in your funnel right now. If you have no leads, start with the ICB sniper and the prospect deep dive. If you have leads but no replies, go with the 2 outreach skills. If you have calls but no closes, focus on the pre-call genius and the compounding follow-up. One skill this week, that is the move. And listen, if you are a marketing agency, B2B business or SaaS founder who wants 5 to 6 highly targeted intro calls every single month without spending your life jumping between tools and tabs, this is literally what I help people set up. The link to book a free strategy call with me is right down in the description. We will look at exactly where your funnel is leaking, what to fix first, and which of these skills to plug in for your specific situation. No pitch, no pressure, just a clear, useful conversation about your numbers. Because at the end of the year, the agencies that win are not the ones with the prettiest dashboards or the longest tool stack. They are the ones with the fullest calendars. Go get yours filled. I'll catch you in the next video.